Today in this online session, we will discuss the Indian Contract Act 1872. We will try to find out what are the essential elements of a valid contract. Dear students, up till now, we have understood that in day-to-day business, we have heard about contracts being formed between the employee and the employer, contracts being formed between the vendor and the company. Now, in this chapter, we will try to discuss the important conditions pertaining to contracts in the Indian Contract Act 1872. Before we understand the essential elements of a valid contract, we have to know some important terms, some definitions that are used in the Indian Contract Act. First, we have to understand what do you mean by a contract, the definition of a contract. According to Indian Contract Act 1872, Section 2H, a contract is defined as an agreement enforceable by law. Means a contract is basically an agreement, but it can be enforced by law. That is, law is going to take its course on the agreement. Second important point we have to understand is agreement. According to Section 2E, every promise and every set of promises forming consideration for each other is an agreement. What does it mean? Suppose A is going to sell his pen to B for rupees 5. That means A has promised to sell his pen to B for rupees 5. A will give pen, B will give 5 rupees. This is nothing but a promise. In return for a promise is an agreement. Third important point which we have to know is the consideration. Consideration is the return benefit the parties to the contract get. For example, in our case, A is going to give the pen to B and B is going to give the rupees 5 to A. Means A will get the benefit of rupees 5 and B is going to get the pen. This is the consideration for both the parties. So, agreement is equal to offer plus acceptance. One is offering, other is accepting. It is nothing but an agreement. Next important point we have to know is the promise. According to Section 2B, a proposal when accepted becomes a promise. So, up till now, what we have seen is what is an agreement and what is a contract. We will try to summarize this in brief. Agreement is equal to offer plus acceptance. A is going to sell the pen and B is going to buy the pen. Offer plus acceptance. When agreement and it has got some legal enforceability, it is nothing but a contract. Now, second important point, agreements may create social or legal obligations, while in case of contract, it creates only legal obligations between the parties. What does it mean, social obligation? For example, your father has promised to give you a bike if you score 60% of the marks in the exam. You score 60% of the marks, but your father fails to deliver on the promise. Can you go to the police and complain against your father? No. So, in such case, in such agreement, it creates only social obligation. You invite a friend to a party, but you don't turn for the party. Will your friend go to the court to get justice? No, he can't go. It's only a social obligation. While in case of contract, there is legal obligations between the parties. Now, third important point, all agreements do not become contracts. We have seen in case of father and the sons, father giving bike to his son, So it cannot become a contract. All agreement do not become contract. While in case of contract, all contracts are based on agreement. Agreement plus enforceability is equal to contract. Next important term we have to understand in the Indian Contract Act is consensus ad idem. According to section 13, meeting of mind or identity of mind or receiving the same thing in the same sense at the same time. For example, A is going to sell his bike to B and B is going to purchase bike from A. So, B thinks that a bike which is in working condition is going to be sold by A. But in A's mind, he is thinking of selling that bike which is not working and it is not in good condition. So there is no consensus of the object in both the parties' mind. That is nothing but called a consensus ad idem. If you want to form a contract, there should be consensus, that is identity of object in the mind of both the parties at a same time. It is nothing but called as consensus ad idem. Now, moving ahead, we will now try to understand what are the essential elements of a valid contract. All these essential elements are mentioned in section 10 of the Indian Contract Act. First essential element is a valid offer and acceptance. Many a times we have heard the word validity period. What does it mean? It means that within this time period, the network service provider is going to give you the talk time. Beyond this time period, there is no obligation on the part of the network service provider. So, first essential element of a valid contract is a valid offer and acceptance. A is going to give the pen while B is going to give ₹5. A valid offer and acceptance. Okay, fine. Next one. Second essential element of a valid contract is intention to create legal relationship. For example, A is going to sell the pen to B. There a legal relationship has to be created. Their intention is to create a legal relationship. It cannot be case like A has promised he gets ₹5 but he doesn't deliver the pen. It should not be the case like that. So there should be intention. A is intending he is ready to give the pen to B for ₹5. Okay. Next one. Consensus ad idem. That is same object in both the parties' mind at the same time. We have seen this in our example. Now next essential element of a valid contract is lawful consideration. What does it mean, lawful? A cannot contract with B to kill C. Such a contract cannot be formed because it is not lawful in the eyes of the law. It is illegal. Are you getting? Lawful consideration is not there. For example, and I take another example. Okay. I will give you 1,000 rupees, but in return, you have to eat 10 kg of sugar. It is unjust. It is not lawful. Consideration, 10 kg of sugar eating for 1,000 rupees, it is unjust. So lawful consideration is not there. Are you getting? Okay, take another example. Okay, A is going to sell a bike to B, but A doesn't own the bike. It is unlawful. Are you getting? Lawful consideration is not there. Next important essential features of a valid contract is capacity to contract. Students, now try to understand that in Indian Contract Act, there are some conditions mentioned whereby incapacity to contract arise. What are those conditions like? First condition, if the party to the contract is a minor, that is below 18 years of age, he cannot form a party to the contract. So a minor cannot form a contract. Second, a contract with an enemy state. An Indian contracting with a Pakistani cannot be a lawful contract under the Indian Contract Act 1872. Third, a contract with a person of unsound mind. A contract with a foreign ambassador by an Indian person. All these contracts cannot be formed, so there is no capacity of the parties to the contract. This is one of the essential elements of a valid contract. Next essential element of a valid contract is free consent. Consent should be free. It should not be, suppose A is contracting with B to supply the notes for or the study material. Okay? If B doesn't supply, then his friend C is going to beat B. There is no free consent obtained from B. So such contract cannot be formed. Free consent. Then Pardanshin woman. Okay? Woman under obligations or under pressure of the family members. So such contract cannot be formed. Coercion under threat. So this is not a valid contract. Next important is legality of object. As we have discussed, A contracts with B to kill C. So legality is not there. So it cannot form a valid contract. Next important feature is possibility of performance. The parties to the contract must be able to perform on the contract. If performance is difficult, it cannot be formed, or say if performance is not, or the parties are not able to perform. Okay, so such cannot form a contract. For example, to count the distance from here to the sun, possibility of performance is not there. Or I contract with you that you go and climb the Mount Everest, but you are unable. So such possibility is not there that you climb the Mount Everest. Such cannot be formed. So we cannot form a contract like this. Next important or is the essential feature of a valid contract is the contract should be in writing and registration. Very simple to understand. Okay. Moving ahead, now we will discuss classification of contract. Students, the contracts are broadly classified under three main headings, like contracts classified according to legal effect, contracts can be classified according to performance, and contracts can be classified under how they are formed. We'll try to understand what does it actually mean. According to legal effect, first type of contract is valid contract. What does valid contract mean? We have seen in our example, in the validity period. So contract in the said time, okay, which is legal, is said to be a valid contract. Which is enforceable is a valid contract. But contracts which are not enforceable, for example, your father has promised to give you a bike when you score first class in the examination. It cannot be enforced. So these are type of void contracts, which cannot be enforced, void contract, which can be enforced, valid contract. Voidable contract. Contract which can be turned void at the wish of the one or the other party are called as voidable contract. The party to the contract can turn down the contract. For example, a person contracts with a builder to purchase the flat in the apartment, okay, on the said date and said time for a said amount of money, or X amount of money. But on the day, the purchaser doesn't have the money. Will he be forced to pay for the flat? No. It is at the wish of the purchaser or the person that he may turn down the contract. Such type of contract which can be turned down by one or the other party are called as voidable contract. Next type of contract are the unenforceable contract. For example, if father contracts with a son to give him a bike when he scores 60% of the mark, such contract cannot be enforced by the law. Such contract are called as unenforceable contract. Next contract are illegal contract. For example, A contracts with B to kill C. These are illegal contract. So classification of contract according to legality. 5 types of it. Now classification of contract according to performance. Unilateral contract. Okay, unilateral contract. Okay, what does it mean? One-sided contract. A agrees to give 1000 rupees to B. One-sided contract. There is no consideration from B. Okay, one way. Bilateral contract, two-way contract. For example, A agrees to give 1000 rupees to B when B supplies or gives the television set to A. Bilateral, two parties are involved in the contract. So, bilateral contract. Third type of contract are the executed contract. What does it mean? A agrees to sell the pen to B for a consideration of rupees 5 and B gives rupees 5, A gives his pen. Contract is formed and the action is performed. Such type of contract are called as executed contract. Executory contract. Contract will be performed on a future date. Executory. A farmer contracts with a merchant to supply or his crop to the merchant. But condition is that when it grows, executory, at a future date. Such type of contract are called as executory contract. Now next type of contract are according to the formations. For example, first one, express contracts. Contracts which are formed by written or spoken are called as express contracts. Very simple to understand. By writing or by speaking, such type of contract are called as express contract. Second one, implied contract. Implied means depending upon the circumstances, upon the environment are called as implied contract. For example, when you enter a bus, it is obvious that you have to purchase the ticket. When you enter a train, you have to purchase the ticket. So, depending upon the conditions of the case, you have to perform upon the environment. Such contracts are called as implied contract. Next one, quasi-contracts. These are the contracts which hold equality before law. Such contracts are called as quasi-contract. For example, you have found a wallet on the road. Now, what is your job like? Your job is to find out the owner of the wallet and return the wallet to the person. If you have not found the owner, then return to the law enforcement agency the wallet. Getting? You cannot enjoy the benefits of the wallet. So, these contracts which hold equality before law are called as quasi-contracts. So, friends, this is what we have learned in today's lecture. We have started with the Indian Contract Act 1872. We have seen the meaning of the different terms, like what do you mean by a contract, what do you mean by an agreement, what do you mean by a promise. We have also seen consensus ad idem. Then we have moved on to understand what are the essential features of a valid contract. Next, we also understood what are the different ways of classification of contract. That's all for today. Thank you.